First, I'm going to sit in the yoga block just to take the tension out of the back. So ideally when you're sitting, try to sit up as tall as you can without kind of putting strain on your lower back. If you don't have a yoga block or a Pilates block, just sit up on a pillow or a towel, that might work. First one, it's more a kind of a neuromuscular approach to Pilates, if you like. It's a diaphragm release, so it's going to release your diaphragm out and get you to kind of release any tension that might be in your ribs and your mid-back. So you just breathe into your ribs. And while you're breathing in, you're going to hold your breath for 6 seconds. So 1, 1002, 1003, 1004, 5, 1006, 1007, 1000. Oh, that was 7. And then exhale. So it's going to be like this. Breathe in. Just try one more. Big inhale. Keep the tension out of your neck and shoulders. It's a nice way to start, just to get the diaphragmatic muscles working. Just get a little stretch on the back. Get your line on your back. In the neutral pelvis, just have a small space between the lower back and the floor. Use a head pad if you need to, or you can have a small towel in under your head if you don't need to, as long as there's not stress and strain on your body. That's more important when you're coming up off the floor, but we'll get into that by the time we get there. Breathe in, feel the ribs expand. Take advantage of that stretch, and exhale, just a light engagement of your pelvic floor. So 30% of maximum contraction of your pelvic floor, front and back passage, little draw up where you feel that pull up of your abs, and then exhale. Inhale. Just concentrating on your ribs expanding and that light engagement, just concentrating on your pelvic floor. Feel that strength relationship as well between your pelvis and your legs. Breathe in. And then exhale. Then from there we'll incorporate the abs. So breathe into your ribs. Get a light engagement of your pelvic floor. And think of those trans abs, those deep abdominals, like your corset, like that cling film feeling between the bottom of your ribs and your pelvis. Staying still in that neutral position, and that you're strong in your obliques. Breathe in. And then exhale. Inhale, nice stretch. Scooping out, even hollowing out your upper trans abs there. And then drawing in, right? So we stay still in neutral on these, and I'll try some leg lifts with you. You breathe in. And then exhale. And then lower down. Keep your pelvis stable and still, and lower. And then back. And then lower. While all the time watching that you're not rocking from side to side. Keeping the tension, trying to stay flat, trying not to dome through your upper abs. On those, just kind of wake up your hip flexors a little bit. There's a nice little, kind of a little muscle energy technique, just kind of, you can have your hands like that, you can have your elbows bent. You breathe in, and then just a mild encouragement of your knee coming up towards you. It just wakes up your hip flexors, wakes up your abdominal connection and obliques on that side, and then lower back down. Breathe in. This leg can be strong as well, that's your part of your stability. Get that mild push up a little bit, that way, and then back down. Even from there, the opposite to that is you can keep your pelvis stable and still, separate your toes, breathe in, and then just without moving your pelvis, just push your feet down into the mat. You feel light through your body. Imagine if I can slide a sheet of paper in under your pelvis. That way, pressure off, relax your sacrum back heavy, breathe in. Pushing again, you feel that light engagement of your, starting to kind of switch on your glutes a little bit and your hamstrings a little bit, and then back. Then this one, so your thumbs are up, you kind of wide, still keep the integrity of your shoulders, right? So draw your shoulder blades back, have your scapula where there's a low level, you know that your muscles are working in between your shoulder blades, your rhomboid muscles there, and then slide your shoulder blades down your back, like that. Float your arms up towards the ceiling on the inhale, and then exhale, reach over. Try not to let the ribs pop, because you're still waking up all your upper abs and your obliques as they draw into your ribs. Arms up towards the ceiling and then lower down. Bring your arms up, inhale, exhale nice and smooth. Work strong through your triceps there. Let your arms kind of hold your arms and then lower back down. Inhale up, exhale, reach, nice and soft. Inhale and lower. And again, one more. Inhale, exhale, then inhale, and then back down. While we're here, we go to the hip roll. Get rid of any head pad that you might have on your neck. We start off in neutral. Think about your pelvis heavy, like a piece of steel, or like, just like a wheel even as well. Breathe in. Draw up with your pelvic floor muscles. Roll your pelvis towards you. Get your abs to get that little integral movement of your deep lower back to come up. That was the floorboard, that wasn't my back. And then reach the knees away from you. Inhale, and then softly peel down, come down through your upper back, middle and lower. Scoop out your upper abs here, just to get that mid back going, and then back down, as in releasing. Breathe in. Nice length between your ribs and your pelvis. Gently peel and lift. Even. Look for that stability, because you got that ability to kind of laterally shift and kind of snake through your back. So just see how you are. Breathe in. Hollow out. Scoop. Integral abs here. Soft ribs. Strong abs but soft ribs. Inhale. Exhale. Soft breastbone. Keep the glutes on. Little bit. Delayed reaction with your pelvis coming down and then back. Good. Let's try the little cat stretch one. Get you over onto your front, like that. Knees are hip distance apart. Get you to breathe into the back and side of your ribs. Tip your pelvis with your abs. Inhale. Tip the pelvis, strong abs. Don't go too far into your lower back. It's more about trying to get a little bit of softening through your ribs at the top, the upper back area. And then the head, try not to overextend. Think of even sink your ribs down a little bit so you can slide your shoulder blades down. Breathe in. Exhale, pull in. It's one of these ones where the more reps you do, the more your body softens out. Keep your obliques working here. Inhale. Try not to force the inhale. Try not to force tension in your upper back. Breathe in. Exhale, hollow out. Work your abs, inhale, then gently out of it. Just try a little scapular isolation one then. Those of you that find a bit tricky with the wrists, you could use a hand towel, something that would be wider than that. You could actually have the fingers dropping off like the heel of the hand. Like this is too narrow, but it would be something like that. Otherwise you can have your hands out a little bit forward, push the body away from the mat. Bring the breastbone down towards the mat. Imagine you have a tea light in between your hands and you're reaching your breastbone away from it. Mild encouragement as they wrap around with strength, trying to get into those muscles in between your shoulder blades and your ribs. Inhale, push the body away. Exhale, down. Inhale, push the body away. Exhale, down. Find a mid position where you can really focus on your shoulder blades in close towards your ribs, width through your shoulders. Use your abs on this one. Breathe in, exhale, lift. So all you have is your weight distribution through both knees and through your hands, and then you lower. And then just observe, are you wobbling from side to side? So it's quite subtle. And then lower, and then back, and then lower, and then back. And one more each side, and then back, and then back. And then you can give yourself a nice stretch. You can reach forward, draw in, stabilize here, work your pelvic floor and your abs. Think about drawing your pelvis back, creating space between the front of your legs. Inhale, exhale, breathe in, relax out, breathe in, roll up head through. We try the ab prep. We try a couple of different exercises just to try and get you to feel your abs. Your hands behind your head. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Let the shoulder blades glide around your ribs. Think of it softening. Get some movement happening through your upper back. Inhale. Then land back down. Peel and land. Lengthen. Flatten out through your abs and up. Inhale. Then lower. Then to bring a little bit more progression into this, you can come up and lift. Inhale. Then land. Breathe in. Lift, inhale, and then land, breath in, lift, inhale, and then land, breathe in, lift, inhale, and then lower, breathe in, lift, inhale, back down, last one, and lift, breath in, and then back down, good. Let's try a couple of climb ones. Get your line on your side. So just make sure that your knees on top like that. And then you can have your bottom foot kind of like in a V position. Where when I'm opening up, I breathe in, exhale, I open up, and then back down, and then lift, and then back, and again, and then lower, and then back down, and again lift, and then lower. You're just trying to get that outside of the hip, inner thigh, out, and then back. And you can open out, reach, bend, land, and then come back in. Open out, lift, land, and return. I could go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Making sure you're not going into your lower back. Reach, bend, and then return, open out, reach, land, and then back in. One more, open out, reach, land, and then back in. Good. Then there's a little, kind of a little glute med one. You can come back, reach out, then back, reach, and then back in. Keeping the alignment with the leg. Imagine your leg is like being held by a string like that, and then back. Try to stay out of the lateral quad, focus more on your glute, and then back and reach, and then back, and then back up, and then back. Then if you want, you can try top leg circle, forward up, back and around, little circular motion like that. This bottom leg can be straight. If you want, you're open out, keeping your height, working your abs, keeping your obliques working that way. And then we do a few the opposite way into the glute, forward and around, back and forward and around, back, forward and around, back and around. Yeah, that way. Yeah, okay. And then let's try the other side now. We'll just do a few on the other side. So first one, oops, like that. So what was the first one I did? Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that's that one. A bit of encouragement with the heels, and then with the knees landing down, up, then lower, up, and lower down. Inner thigh, outer hip, then back, up, and then back. Keep your abs working, up, and then down, like that, and back. Then that one, up, out, bend, then return, out, down, and come back in, up, out, down, and then back, like that, yeah? So that, and then the top leg, your top leg circle ones, up like that, forward up, back and around into the glute. Just nice and smooth. Think of the foot reaching away from you, so you're not compromised into undue tension in your hip joint. Just working that nice integral aspect of your glutes again, not into the IT band, not over tensing the front of your thigh. Think of that smooth stirring of the leg in your hip. Inhale forward and up, exhale back and around, keeping your abs working. If you want to bring it a bit more challenging, then you've got that kind of a thing. Back into the glute, up and around, back, up and around, back. Just watch the relationship between your ribs and your pelvis. And the bottom leg can be anchored and heavy. Just some little ideas of the things that you can do when you're kind of doing your own home practice. We'll try a little roll. One, this one. Your arms come up, peel and roll them round like that. Get a stretch. Try to draw your ribs down. Open out, peel and land. Use your breath. Round over, come out, roll down. I'll be doing some flexi band ones with you as well. Reach over, come out, which you might find it a little bit easier. And you can get a little stretch and then back down. Good. And I'll try a little hip stretch with you. Just a little hip mobility one. Facing like that. So one leg forward, one leg back, like that. Work your glute. You can have a little stretch to the front of the hip of the back leg, then lift up, and then side bend. One shoulder blade slides down, the other one comes up. Think about the length, you'll feel that in the quad. Just try to have that centering. Never a fan of the femur kind of forcing forward in the hip joint. Think about that integrity of your leg kind of centered in your pelvis. That way you won't weaken the ligaments or the tendons in your hip. So you kind of got that glute activation, bit of hamstring, lifting the arm, pull in, watching the ribs. A nice one as well is that you just kind of get the shoulder blades to help you that way. And then come back up and then lower back down. Good. Yeah. And that's that session for today. I hope that helps. A couple of little ab ones in there, a little bit of mobility. It's enough to get you going. Alright, thanks a lot. Enjoy it.